Hello, everybody. My name is Yoni Leidersdorf. I'm the CEO and founder of Indeni. Today, we're going to talk about our innovation with Cloudrail in the infrastructure as code security space. Many of you might have heard of infrastructure as code. Infrastructure as code is a way to manage and build your infrastructure using code files with a variety of different technologies like AWS CloudFormation, Pulumi, Terraform, and others. And infrastructure as code has become essential to today's DevOps practices. With infrastructure as code and with code in general, developers are trying to run as fast as they can. There's a lot of pressure to push new services and new features for existing services. And oftentimes, security is seen as a blocker for this innovation and for the agility that developers are trying to achieve. This has been happening because the approach has been to involve security pretty late in the process. Developers normally only consult with security once the application is ready to go live, maybe even after it's gone live. Now, fixing security issues that late in a process is very expensive from a resource perspective, and it's extremely frustrating for everyone involved. Therefore, there is now a trend to begin thinking about moving security evaluations from the right, as you can see here, over to the left, what everybody's been calling shift left. In the world of infrastructure as code, we now have an opportunity to truly look for security issues early in the process while the application is still being built. The challenge is that if you were to rely on manual review of infrastructure as code, you'd find that it's very time consuming and it does not scale. To deal with this, infrastructure as code security tools have been born. Essentially, they automate the infrastructure as code review process. So if you look at the CI pipeline, you see that code gets built, gets tested, and then the infrastructure as code creates the plan, in this case, the Terraform plan, the changes it wants to do. And then that goes through a security test before moving forward to deploy. By doing this, you can streamline the infrastructure as code review and, again, catch security issues early in the process and have developers fix them at a low cost. The concept behind including infrastructure as code security in the pipeline means that you can now stop the pipeline when there's a security violation in the code. This forces the developer to fix the issue before they can move forward. The challenge here is that if an IaC security tool is too noisy, and the vast majority of tools out there are, then you're going to stop the pipeline for many different minor issues or maybe even false positives. This will be very frustrating for developers, and soon you will find that developers would like to ignore these tools or maybe kick them out of the pipeline entirely. This begs the question, why are these tools so noisy? And there are two main reasons. The first is that most tools look at a very basic key value analysis. So in this specific case, we see an EC2 instance in AWS being spun up using Terraform. And here there is a field that says associate public IP address equals true. Now, yes, associating a public IP address with an EC2 instance may mean that it is publicly accessible. However, there are a lot of other factors involved. This is where the relationship aspect comes into play. It is very important to understand what are the other resources that are connected to this EC2 instance. What subnet is it in? What security groups is it using? Is this subnet accessible to the internet? So there are many other aspects to consider instead of just looking at one field of this specific resource. However, most tools resort to doing that because it is faster and it is cheaper to develop. Unfortunately, though, the impact on developers is a very negative one, and so these tools end up failing in the CI pipeline. Cloudrail is an infrastructure as code security automation tool that deals with the noise issues that we've seen in other tools and produces a far more useful and valid output for developers to action. The big difference is in its context-aware capabilities. So what Cloudrail does is it takes your infrastructure as code, such as Terraform plan. It also looks at your live cloud environment, for example, your AWS cloud account, and it merges the two into a single graph object model. Then Cloudrail runs deep context-aware rules on this object model. So for example, Cloudrail can look at that EC2 instance we saw earlier and understand that while the EC2 instance is being built through Terraform, there is a security group in your live environment that is going to be used. And then Cloudrail can take these two into account when deciding whether there is an issue or there isn't an issue. Once Cloudrail makes this determination, the evaluation results are returned to the CI pipeline. If there are any critical failures, the CI pipeline will stop, and the specific violations, together with how to fix them, will be shown to the developer. This allows the developer to correct the problem very quickly and push updated code. In addition, Cloudrail provides visibility to the security team. So the security team can see what violations are developers encountering, what types of issues or mistakes are made often. The end result of using Cloudrail versus other IaC security tools is that you get 3 times less noise or 3 times better signal to noise ratio when using Cloudrail. So remember, context is everything. Just looking at code is not enough. You need to look also at the cloud environment and see how it's impacting your code, or maybe other pieces of code who are separate from the one that you're looking at right now. Thank you very much for your time, and we hope you enjoy the rest of the event. If you want more information about Cloudrail, visit us at www.indeni.com/Cloudrail or at the booth that we have at the expo. Have a great rest of your day.